in studio with us. It's been a while, Heidi. How are things?
Things are great.
Good, good. Now, we have a lot of things to talk about here. Spring has sprung.
It has.
Right? The grass is riz. I wonder where my flowers is.
Yeah.
That's my Uncle Myron's favorite poem.
Mine are at Home Depot waiting to
There,
pick up.
exactly right. So, spring in Minnesota. When it comes to buying and selling houses, what does that mean for us?
Well, I mean, a market is a market, but there are certain things that we see in the spring and that will impact, the transaction.
Yep.
And one of the old hats in Minnesota is there's two seasons. There's road construction season and winter, right?
Yeah,
and,
sure.
And we have already seen that road construction, but I think it would be relevant to talk a little bit how could that potentially impact a home sale when you see that?
Well, the one thing that comes to my mind is, you're going to see your house, right? Your realtor's already there. You get to drive through all of this road construction, and you're immediately hit with a negative, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, it can impact just the drivability, and so there's not a lot of people that will say, yeah, I absolutely want to put my house on the market when my road is tore up, that type of thing, and getting there. But people do, and really where the road construction comes into play is that if there's an improvement on a road, somebody pays for it, right?
True.
Who pays for it? And generally the construction we see right now, like there's some over by my house, and they're going to be putting in, I believe, curb and gutter and resurfacing these roads. Well, the homeowners generally pay for that, so the bill for that isn't going to arrive in that homeowner's inbox until October.
Okay.
So what if the road construction gets done in June and somebody sells their house in July, but there's no bill for it yet? How does that work out in a transaction? And we navigate through those things.
I automatically think when I started talking about, the negative of road construction, on the other hand, you've got a brand new road that's going to be outside your nice new home.
Absolutely.
That would be a positive to me.
Yep, and you know what it's going to cost, and you have a way to navigate who's going to pay for it.
So special assessments sometimes can come down from the city, right?
Yes.
And would that throw a negative into the purchase of that home?
Well, it doesn't have to. So, if you were going to stay in your home and there had just been road improvements, there's a couple ways to pay for that. When you get that bill in October, you say, well, I'm going to pay for it now, or you can set yourself up with the city or the county to say, I am going to break out this $10,000 assessment over 10 years, and I want you to add it to my tax roll, so I'm going to pay a little bit every year.
Okay.
That's the way that you do it if you're staying in the home. But when a house is being sold, lenders get involved in this process a little bit, and some lenders will say, yeah, we're okay if a buyer assumes that assessment and they continue to pay it over 10 years, but some lenders might say, no, that assessment needs to be satisfied at that time. There's not a standard in any contracts, but when we're in a seller's market, more people might assume, and when we're in a buyer's market, more buyers might say, I want that assessment paid for, especially if it wasn't done just this year. If you're year 4 into an assessment, that buyer's going to be like, the road's 4 years old or the sewer's 4 years old. You take care of that.
Right.
So it becomes a closing cost at that point to sellers.
What about things like storm damage, right? I've got a new roof. It's going to be coming. I promise you. Here's the bid. It's already signed, sealed, delivered. It's just not put on yet.
Yeah. So that's another sign of spring for sure. Is we see all the people that that maybe had hail damage. They got their roof checked out last fall, and now it's going to be on the schedule to do something now. We can sell homes without that work being performed. It's just a matter of holding some of that in escrow and making sure that whoever is going to be doing the work can get paid for it.
Yep. So last week, Brandon and I talked about the fact that Minnesota is a draft state. Would you write all of this stuff into that purchase agreement?
Oh, yeah. Right? Yep. And that's not going to be one of those standardized clauses necessarily, because every situation is different.
Right.
I mean, sometimes we go into the process and we find out that there was storm damage, and then it's subject to us getting adjusters out there and all those types of things. So the fact that we are a draft state is a really big deal, because it allows us to negotiate both for the buyer and the seller.
Sure.
Yeah.
I would think that's a really positive thing for you guys to be able to work out the details on something like that amongst yourselves.
Oh, for sure. And it doesn't slow the process down, because at the end of the day, people want to move when it's nice out if they are able to, and so it doesn't delay that process.
Now, curb appeal. Oh man, when you drive up to that nice new house that you're going to be buying and the yard looks Dandelion City, right?
Yeah, no.
How does that enter into the whole thing?
Well, I mean, in the spring, there's always that one guy on your block that it looks like.
Don't be looking at me.
Yeah, he unveils his lawn and it looks great, and then there's always those people that it takes us a little while. We got to inch our way along and get some of those things cleaned up, and but taking the time to do it every year is a big deal. And I think one of the biggest misses that I see is that people are really good at taking care of their lawns. They're not so great at addressing their trees.
I was just going to ask you, my neighbor's got a tree hanging over into my yard.
Yes.
What do I do?
Well, we have navigated through some of those things. And if the tree's on your yard, you have the ability to maintain that tree. But, if there's questions, even as real estate agents, or let's say you're in a negotiation and you're like, I want that tree taken care of, but I know I'm going to have to go on this neighbor's yard to do it. And I don't know these people because I'm going to be moving here.
Yeah, and you don't want to be a jerk.
Yeah, no, for sure. So we've had situations where, as part of the purchase agreement, we've had the seller get a letter from the neighbor saying, after such and such date, when you move here, I will allow you to access my property to take care of that tree.
Yeah, you want to start off on the right foot.
You do.
Don't you?
Yeah,
All right.
for sure.
Heidi, how do we work with you folks at Voigt Johnson?
Well, you can always call us at 320-774-2400 or give us a look on our webpage, VoigtJohnson.com. We got a great gallery of agents for you there.
Always a pleasure, Heidi. Thank you.
Thank you.